yung advocacy ng Sigla Research Center is kailangan civil society driven ang lunas sa fake news and kailangan angkop sa ating konteksto. We need to have full awareness of risks of regulatory capture and overreach. So these are 4 very practical solutions that would be more civil society driven rather than top down and overreaching. First is to broaden the focus beyond content takedowns. Government should be supporting independent research and civil society to mitigate local businesses of disinformation for hire. So kahit meron pong examples of foreign interference, mas typical pa rin itong local disinformation. Number 2, you can support whole of society coalitions where academics, journalists, legal experts, librarians, educators, and human rights agencies apply diverse methodologies to promote a healthy public sphere. Hindi lang po isa yung methodology, but kailangan iba't ibang sektor ng ating lipunan ay mag-collaborate. Number 3, you can target social media platforms. You can pressure them for transparency initiatives and external audits of their policies as well as their algorithms. These can be reviewed by independent, non-partisan researchers and civil society organizations. Number 4, and this is recognizing the broader context of an inevitable contraction of funding because of U.S. foreign aid being contracting, as well as funding from big tech corporations for fact-checking also being halted. You can augment the funding of civil society who are the front line for fighting disinformation. And I just wanted to shout out some of those civil society organizations that you can be supporting and the different methodologies that they have been using to fight fake news. We argue that we need to support all of these methodologies and support ways that they can all work collaboratively rather than work in silos. So thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jonathan Corpus Ong, for that informative presentation. Maybe later the members of this committee will be asking questions, but for the meantime we'll be proceeding to the next resource person who will be presenting as well. So University of the Philippines, Dr. Rachel Ican, Associate Dean College of Mass Communication. You are now recognized, ma'am. By present siya. Sige ma'am, you are now recognized, please.
Honorable Chair, distinguished members of Congress, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Correct ko lang po yung designation, tapos na po yung term ko as Associate Dean. I am a Professor of Journalism at the UP College of Mass Communication. I am also a co-founder of Check.ph, isa pong collaborative coalition ng mga fact-checkers dito sa Pilipinas, where we strive to cite or help the public distinguish disinformation narratives. If you allow me, I have slides po for the presentation, if it can be flashed.
Sige, go ahead, ma'am.
Kailangan ko po yung slides kasi yun yung visual, yung unang visual po na
technical, please. Ayan na, ma'am.
Ayan, salamat. Next slide, please. It's very important for us to be able to distinguish ang usapan or the certain beliefs within society. Ang malinformation naman po ay sadyang nananakit po ng tao. It usually attacks reputations through disinformation, no? So, nakikita na, for example, ang deepfake ay example po ng isang malinformation dahil you are already impersonating a real person and putting words in that person's mouth. So, ito po, we have to distinguish the intent, no, in tackling the area of information disorder. Next slide, please. So I thought I would just summarize what I have to say in ABCD. Ang abakada po ng disinformation. Ang una po ay manipulative actors. They are people with clear groups, institutions with clear intention disrupt democratic process or the information ecosystem. The second is deceptive behaviors, mga tactic po. And I'll go through it given the limited time one by one. Can we have the next slide? So I'll tackle it more systematically. So una po, manipulative actors. So as Jonathan had said earlier, dun sa nakasite po sa kanyang study Architects of Network Disinformation, ito po ay mga institutions, mga tao, mga groups na nananadyang nagkakalat ng disinformation. I listed here some examples of these manipulative actors, such as yung tinatawag ni or na-label ni Craig Silverman, isang journalist who focuses on disinformation also in the US, na mga black PR agencies. These are boutique PR agencies that really focus on, sometimes they operate during elections to either attack or to attack certain individuals during the election period, or feed disinformation in other forms, like in environment issues, no, health issues, mga ganyan. So sadya silang nagta-target ng audiences. Many of them are not necessarily members or officially recognized public relation firms in the country, but are also ad hoc. And then po yung mga POGO na or community-based fake account operators. No, so ang danger po ng isa pang danger ng POGO ay they have the machinery and the equipment to operate not just online gaming, but they can easily convert to scamming and other forms of harmful activity. And then of course, apart from them, you also have community-based fake account operators. Ito yung mga grupong na-hire, usually kasama rin sila ng mga black PR na siniset up para mag-attack ng or mag-kalat ng disinformation. Then of course, you have the hired trolls, yung mga tao nila, hired influencers. Now this can be individuals who are selling their platform, no, to the highest bidder, not to be able to share whatever information their financier wants to give out. No, whether it's just for propaganda sake or it's disinformation. And then of course, yung grassroots supporters, ito po yung hindi ito bayad, ito yung mga na-involve lang sa disinformation dahil masyadong silang, for example, loyal sa isang personality. No? So, kung kahit anong sabihin itong influencer na to, i-echo nila. Sort of like blind loyalty. So, many of them are victims also of disinformation. Unfortunately, kahit na biktima sila rin yung nagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon. Alright, so the commonality here is that they are not operating in and for themselves, but are guns for hire, where the weapon is disinformation and the aim is the manipulation of the public sphere. Sometimes po we can, next slide please, there is some times when it's state-sponsored disinformation. As we can see here, I have two studies that were published by the Deutsche Welles about Russian disinformation targeting Germany, and published also by the BBC News of Chinese-led state propaganda and disinformation. Next po, letter B, deceptive behavior. I'm narrowing this down to what I think is the most threatening. First is the inauthentic coordinated behavior. Ito po, as Jonathan had also mentioned earlier, pwede po nating hanapan ng